Friends, welcome to Words of Wisdom Gyan Ganga, our daily talk show with Dr. Subramaniam Swamy on the Virat Hindustan Sangam social media channels. Today is Shankara Jayanthi. As you all know, the birthday of Adi Shankaracharya. And we are having today a special episode with Dr. Swamy in which he will be talking about Paramacharya of Kanchi Mutt. Without taking much of the formalities, I would now request Sri Ramesh Swamy to further discuss the issue with Dr. Swamy.
Can't hear.
Mike, Ramesh.
Dr. Swamy, on this great occasion of Sankara Jayanthi, I have known, I've heard from you directly through others that you had a great association with the Paramacharya. I've read about it. You've told me so many times and how you have interacted with Paramacharya and with Matams and also the other Charyas also. But so what we would love to know about is how did you start? Can you walk us through your experiences with Paramacharya?
Well, when I look back, I myself find some things very hard to believe that such events will come to pass. I was brought up in a English medium school and English medium college, but more important that my school was actually founded by a Christian padre, and we did the exam which was corrected at the University of Cambridge. So we are all brought up as brown Englishmen, as they say, and I had no concept whatsoever of our sadhus, sannyasis, Gita, anything. And so after I went to Harvard, I, of course, was in the company of Jewish professors, and then, of course, the local customs of Christmas and Easter and so on. So one day there was a student who actually I used to have students who were IAS officers sent from Government of India to take some basic courses in economics and politics and so on. So one of the students by name Satish Kumar Singh, he took my economics courses and my mathematical economics courses. So towards the end of the semester, he asked me whether we would drop into whether I would drop into his room in the dormitory, that is the students' hostel. And there I dropped in, and as usual, all this tea and some snacks and so on. But I saw on his table a picture of a sadhu. And I asked in good English, who's this bloke? And he was a little annoyed, but he said, he's almost like God. His name is the Shankaracharya of the Kanchi Mutt. Now, all that meant nothing to me. So I looked at his face, and it was quite animated, even if it was a picture. And then I forgot about all of that. Then many years later, when the emergency took place, I had gone underground. I had become an MP of Jansang. And after made my escape to the West, the request of Jayaprakash Narayan not to waste my time in India, but to go abroad and go appear on BBC, Voice of America, etc., the Western media, because Western media, Mrs. Gandhi didn't have the nerve to jam. So people used to hear it. Of course, it's all in English, so it was not a general mass broadcast. So I went there, and I spent about 6 months in the United States and Britain. And then things began to get stale. So I decided that I must do something to create a confidence that there are still people, we still are fighting this battle, because many of the prominent people like Nanaji Deshmukh, Dattappan Tengri, George Fernandez, all these people who were in the forefront in names, senior people that time, and they had all been arrested. So I then suddenly this idea entered my head that I should go back to India and somehow enter Parliament and make a very short speech and then disappear. And this would mean a huge shock for Indira Gandhi. Of course, I had byproduct advantage also. The Parliament had refused to give me leave, and the rule was that if you have been absent 60 continuous days, then your seat is automatically declared vacant. So I was getting close to 60. So I said, okay, if I follow through, this will also be a great advantage, just for the sakes of telling people that I'm a member of parliament. And, that carries a lot of credibility of being a member of parliament in Western institutions. So I came and I boarded a Pan American flight, and the flight was coming into land in the Palam airport, which was then just newly built, and it was a small airport. And those days we had hopping flights, so we had what they call as transit stops. So Delhi was a transit stop where passengers for Delhi also get off, and it also means that those who are going from Delhi to Bangkok can board that flight. So there's a transit hall to which you go. Now, as the plane was coming down, I was pretty sure that I would be arrested. I mean, pretty sure means I thought the probability is extremely high, but it's worth that risk to take that risk. Coming suddenly out of the blue, this picture of several years ago, earlier, that is about 10 years earlier, which I had forgotten completely about, of Paramacharya, came before me, and I couldn't understand why it has come. And I saw that. So that was the second time. But I made a resolve that if ever the emergency is lifted, I become a free man, I will visit him if I can. So that was the second experience I had with him. Thereafter, became very famous. I entered parliament, raised a point of order, and disappeared despite having 18 cases against me, and a arrest warrant declared proclaimed offender, all that. So after the emergency was lifted following the Janata Party victory, the Tamil Nadu government, which during the emergency of Karunanidhi, because he opposed the emergency, had been dismissed, so they had to hold an assembly election for that. And now the Janata Party came to power, so we fixed a date, and there were assembly elections for Tamil Nadu Assembly. And Morarji Desai thought that since I'm a Tamilian and by now India famous, I should go and campaign. So I went to campaign, and then one day when I was returning back to Chennai, we had to pass through Kanchipuram. And when I was coming in through a village, there was a small village where I saw lots of fancy cars, police, and a lot of people also. And so I asked my Janata Party colleagues, what is this going on here? So they said, oh, the great Paramacharya is now camped here. He'll be camped here for 3-4 months. And he's here. And he's considered almost equal to God. I said, oh, you mean Swamy Chandrasekhara Saraswati? They said, yes. So I said, then I must see him. So we stopped the car, and I walked to his cottage, where he had also built a small shamiana. So outside the cottage door, he came out and sat, and there was a big crowd. And so I pushed my way into the best way I could, and got to the right to the front, and I saw him. And then he saw me and suddenly got up and turned himself around and walked straight into the cottage and shut the door. So I thought, no, I don't know why he's taken offense. Maybe I didn't do the proper Shastangam Dandavat or something. I don't know. All kinds of thoughts crossed my mind. So I told my friends, let's go, because everybody was surprised, and some people were looking at me also as a, who's this villain who's driven him back. So I walked to the car, which was about, about quarter of a kilometer. And by the time I reached the car, I saw a pujari who used to be always with Paramacharya, as I learned later, came running and said, Periva avangala கூப்பிடுறார். That means Periva is called, Periva means the elder, the big man, or the great man. He is calling you. So I went back, and I went and stood in front of him. He looked at me and he said, do I know, உங்களுக்கு தமிழ் தெரியுமா கேட்டார். That is, do you know Tamil? He asked. I said, yes, I think I can understand it. So he said, do you know why I call you back? Because without my permission, you can't go. And and you went away without my permission. என்னோட உத்தரவு இல்லாம நீ கிளம்பி விட்ட. So I said, well, it was considered rude by everybody. You just got up, turned your back, and went inside your cottage and shut the door. So I thought you don't want to see me. So I went away. Why should I, be a hurdle here? So then he said, no, no, no. I went because this piece of paper, he put out his hand uh, towards me. I went and picked it up from his hand. And he says, I went to collect this. Open it and see. It was folded. It was a newsprint. So I opened it, and there the identification was there. It was a magazine, Sunday magazine of Indian Express, and in that there was it was an extract from a part torn out of the letters to the editor and answers, and there was a question by one person with my photo there, and the question was, is Subramaniam Swamy a Tamilian? And the answer was given by the magazine. Yes, he is a Tamilian. He's the native of Madurai, and in a village near Cholavandan called Mullipallam, and is very much a Tamilian. Then he asked me, are you that person? Are you this person? So I said, Nidane, he asked me. So I said, yes, it is me. So then he said, now you go. So I came back and forgot all about it. And then as the campaign ended, I was going again back to Madras by car, and we had to go by the same route, and we saw the same people. And again, there was a lot of big crowd. Some cinema actors also had come and all that. So I walked in just to see what is he saying and all that. But as soon as he saw me, he asked everybody to clear out. He said, let him come, and sent everybody away. Then I sat with him. I stood. I didn't sit down. He asked me, "You're a member of parliament?" I said, "Yes." "You come for campaign?" I said, "Yes." Then he said, "Yeah, in this country, democracy is very important. We have become free, but we have not become independent." So I said to him in my broken Tamil, "Yes, you're right, but we must do something about it. The emergency was very bad," and so on. So during the emergency, Indira Gandhi had come to see him, and he refused to see her. He just turned his face away, and she asked him, she cried before him, she asked for forgiveness and all that. He just wouldn't say anything. Then she said, "At least bless me," and that also he refused to do. Then she said, "Please bless the country." So he blessed the country, and so there was already there, that thing was there. So then he went on just to start by saying, everybody can't be a vegetarian. Now, I was taken aback. In those days, I didn't hesitate to eat a chicken. So I thought he's disproving. He said, no, if everybody became vegetarian, then this country will be overrun by animals. So, so I said, okay, but then why are some people vegetarians? He said, no, if you want to still your mind, you want to learn, your memory is to increase, and you want a healthy life, then a vegetarian is good. So, I mean, it was in his way of saying. And so a little after that, I also became vegetarian, and I've remained a vegetarian since then. I was never any kind of voracious eater of meat or anything like that. But the fact is that I wouldn't object if non-vegetarian food would be said. But then I discontinued, I became vegetarian. Then he went on to talk about what do you think of our foreign policy? So I have taken him aback. I said, well, this Pakistan is troublesome and we should finish Pakistan. So he said, no, no, you can't do it like that. You have to prepare for it. So I said, you got other problems. You first deal with those. I said, what? He said, you remember one thing, always India should be friends of Israel and China. So I said, Israel, the whole country will revolt because the Muslims are against it and all that. He said, maybe, but my advice to you is to try and develop our relations with Israel because that is good for our country. So then I said, China is sitting on our land and all that. He's all right. So what? It's sitting on land. We are both big countries. That's not an issue. But let me tell you, no matter what happens, you should be friendly with China. Otherwise, India will never be allowed to grow. There are so many countries which want India to fail. The British even today want India to fail. So I said, all right. I mean, but then I said, but they are China is communist, and the Russians are also communists. So they are dangerous people. He says communism, Russia will break up Soviet Union. Soviet Union that will break up into pieces. Why you bother about them? Just don't ignore them. Ignore communists will just go on shrinking, shrinking, shrinking. You don't worry about that. You focus on India's economic prosperity and our relations with these two countries. So, I mean, Paramacharya giving a lecture on politics are unheard of. So I don't know why. Then he said, I want to tell you one principle you must always have, and that is necessary for you. I am telling you. So I said, what is that? He said, never ask for a post, never go after a post. In your life, you will find that when the time is right for you to hold a post, it will come running after you. You don't have to run after a post ever, and it is useless also for you to run after a post. But the post will run after you when it becomes absolutely necessary. And I can tell you that I became minister in the Chandrasekhar time when nobody could think because the Janata Party had been completely made vapid. I mean, it was almost hollowed. 95, 99% of Janata Party had merged into Janata Dal. I was left with 4 or 5 people, and we we had a Janata Party. And then that Janata Party, Rajiv Gandhi made an alliance with us, and then together we brought down the VP Singh government and formed an alternate government, and I became a minister. It was unthinkable, but it happened. And I didn't pursue any posts, but automatically I became the doer of it, and that's how it happened. So like this, he kept on giving me. Whenever I went on that side, I'd go and see him. Once or twice, he made me come. He told all his disciples that Swamy or Bandi or either puncture it. That is, his car has been stranded because there is a puncture. And I was going from Chennai to Bangalore, and so by road, and it passes Kanchipuram, and but not inside, but from the outside part is a bypass heading towards Bangalore. It was a late night, And in those days there was none of these cafeterias and petrol stations and all the kind we see nowadays. And he said, no, his tire is punctured. Go take a spare tire and go there. So these disciples of his, they were a little taken aback, but they came. And so at night I was sitting, whether I'm going to sleep here, whether I'm going to sleep in the car. And, it was such a dark area. It looked as if, any dacoit can come. There were LTT people also in those days. This I'm talking about the late 80s. And they had started sprouting. They were all at the Dravida Karagam, which was very violent and targeting Brahmins and so on. So I was wondering, suddenly I find a car coming and stopping, and a fellow getting out and then opening his buggy boot and taking out a tire. And he said, "You have had a puncture?" I said, "Yes." So he put the puncture, he put the wheel, and then he said, "Paramacharya wants to see you." So I went all the way, and I couldn't understand how he knew. But these young disciples told me. So that, like that, there were incidents after incidents. In 1978, I, following his advice, I persuaded Moraj Desai to recognize, send an ambassador to China, and then I went to China, and we started developing relations. And then in 1981, Deng Xiaoping himself, he doesn't meet anybody, and I wasn't holding any post, and I was deputy leader of the Janata Party in the opposition in parliament. But he invited me, and there I asked Deng Xiaoping whether he will reopen the Kailash Mansarovar. Everybody had told me before going, no, they will never agree, they are communists. And suddenly he agreed. So, but he made a condition, two conditions. One condition that I will go first before anybody else, so that I learn how hard it is, how difficult it is, and how much trouble you have given us for this. So Mrs. Gandhi had become Prime Minister. She agreed that I will lead the first delegation, and I went to China. But before going, a lot of people scared me. I think Indrajit Gupta caught hold of my wife in the library, Parliament library, and said, "What are you doing allowing Swamy to go? It's such a dangerous place. He'll fall off a cliff," so on. So she also communicated that to me. So I went to Paramacharya. I said, I'm now chosen to lead a delegation, the first delegation to Mansarovar, Kailash Mansarovar. What shall I do? Shall I go? He said, of course, you must go. I said, but people say it's all very dangerous. You'll fall off the cliff, and nothing will happen like that. Then I told him something which shows that he was really divine. I told him that, maybe I'll go next year, because this year I had promised to my two young daughters who had, a lot of months, almost 2 years, I did not see them during the emergency. Then I got involved in elections and so on. So I have promised them I'll come back on my birth. I'll be here in Delhi on my birthday, and we'll celebrate. And now it appears that by the time I go to Kailash and then come back, it will be much after. It will be end of September, my birthday being 15th September. So he said, no, you go. Why are you worrying about this? Don't worry about all this. You go. This is a great opportunity. Please go and get it open. So I went reluctantly. I didn't tell my daughters I won't be back. But I went, and of course went and saw Kailash, and I came back. I was the Chinese out of they had taken a very strong liking after 1977 for me, so they made special arrangements that I would, instead of coming with all other people walking or on horseback, I would be taken by the uh, fastest route to and cross the border, and there leave me as to cross the border. It's on the top of 19,000 feet. So I crossed the border, and then our soldiers were there. They took me to a place called Kalapani, which is the first station. where there was a small Durga temple. And they said, now our instructions are that you will wait here till the other pilgrims will come here, and then you'll go together. So you'll have rest for about 7, 8 days, which and I had arrived on 13th September at the across the border. So I said, there it goes. I will not be able to see the border, what Paramacharya said. After a few hours, I had one of the officers of the army come to me and said, we just received a telex that the Prime Minister's office has decided that they will send a helicopter to pick you and bring you to Bareilly, and from there a car will take you to Delhi. I said, a bolt from the blue. Why Mrs. Gandhi would do any such thing? So, but indeed, I was told that tomorrow morning, that is the 14th morning, you will leave at 11 o'clock at night, in the morning, and you will reach by 1 hour's time Bareilly. And then it's a 4 or 5 hour drive, and you will reach Delhi on the evening of the 14th. And that's how I reached Delhi. On 15th morning, I was available for the birthday. Now, what do you say for this? I'll give you one more incident, one or two more things which he did for me, and I would like to, and then after that, if there, I can have some questions that you may have. What happened is that in 1983, I had become extremely popular after all this thing. And so Ramakrishna Hegde kept on telling Chandrasekhar, this Swamy, he is now, the Americans are supporting him, all this usual propaganda. And they're going to remove him. And you see, Indira Gandhi sent him to Kailash, so she has also got a plan, and she wants you removed and all. And like a good Thakur, Chandrasekhar got a little irritated. I also, sometimes would criticize him, so he got even more irritated. And one day, the party expelled me from the party. So I was no more Janata Party. So I don't know what to do. And then the elections came, 1984 elections, and I stood as as a part of Charan Singh's party. But Charan Singh's party had, first of all, no base in Bombay. Second, Indira Gandhi had been assassinated, so everybody lost. So I went back to Harvard, and I taught for about 2 years, and came back to India, and then I went to Kanchipuram to see Paramacharya. So Paramacharya told me, I was wondering where you had gone. So I said, I'd gone to Harvard to teach. But he said, now you come back. I said, yeah. You are Janata Party, no? So I said, I'm not Janata Party. They expelled me. How can I be Janata Party? No. Don't play the fool with me. You are Janata Party. So go and check in Delhi and come back and tell me next time. So I went back to Delhi, and I get a call from Chandrasekhar himself. He tells me, tomorrow is my birthday. You have to come to attend my birthday in Bodhsi's. I said, Chandrasekhar ji, I told him in Hindi, you expel me from the party and then you expect me to come and wish you on your birthday? What do you think I am? He said, no, you misunderstood me. We'll discuss all that. You come, at least you come. And I've told all our people that you're coming and you should be well received. So I went to Bonsi, and Chandrasekhar was waiting for me, outside. And there was a big crowd of party workers, and they all said Jindabad and all that. And he took me and said, come on, hamare kutir mein chalo. That is, come to my cottage and we'll have some tea. So I went inside and sat down. He said, I want to say, first of all, I'm very sorry what happened. But I think you should join Janata Party. I said, I joined Janata Party. Why? Just whenever you like, you kick me out. And whenever you like, you want me to come back. And it's not be done. You have to do some prashchit. So prayashit means, that you have to do some atonement. He said, what do you want me to do? I said, I'm already part of Lokdal. Lokdal has, it's not a small party. It has got, by then Charan Singh had died and Ajit Singh had become president and I had become general secretary. So I said, we got 53 MPs, MLAs and so many MPs. So, I mean, 3, 4 MPs, more than Janata Party we had. And I said, why I should leave that to come to Janata Party? And God knows, when you will get angry again. He said, no, you tell me what I can do to, convince you that you should join Janata Party. So I told him, you resign from the presidentship of the Janata Party, invite Ajit Singh to become president. And if you do it, I promise you that although it was 1986 and it looked very remote, I said, I promise you that you will become the Prime Minister of India. I'll work for that. And so he said, Are chodo and all that. And I said, No, I'm telling you that this is my promise. If I can't do it, then I can't do it. But if I get a chance, I will make you Prime Minister. So that's how the Lokdal and the Janata merged. And I again became president, general secretary of the Janata Party. And now you tell me, I could never have imagined Chandrasekhar of all the people saying, I'm sorry, inviting me to Bonsi, and then agreeing with me, resigning. All Hegde, everybody said, what has Swamy done? What Jadoo he has done? What magic he has done? And I became, and then BP Singh came along. He took over most of the Janata Party and created Janata Dal. And Chandrasekhar went to also Janata Dal. And then Rajiv Gandhi and I started working together. We had an alliance. And he asked me one day, you're a very smart guy. Can you tell me how to bring down this government? I'll do anything you ask. That's how I made a deal with Rajiv Gandhi that I will persuade Chandrasekhar to come out with 50 MPs or 55 MPs. You got 220 MPs, and the two of us can form a government. And that's how the Chandrasekhar government was formed. I went to Paramacharya, I asked him, should I do this? He said, absolutely, you do it. I said, how do I convince Rajiv Gandhi to trust me? See, after all, I've been dead against the family. He said, don't worry. And 2 days later, 3 days later, it was May sometime. And of course, the government was toppled only in November. We had to prepare it. But in May, he called it was his 99th birthday, I think, or some 90th, 1997, but it was a birthday celebration. He called me to that and he made me address a public meeting in Kanchipuram with Rajiv Gandhi, the two of us. And then he told both me and him, you two work together. And Venkatraman was there. He hated the whole thing. So many others, they were all saying why he's giving this importance to Swamy, who was a troublemaker, that blah, blah, usual things that you hear. So because of that, I was able to get the confidence of Rajiv Gandhi, and we formed the government. So like this, it went on. It was Ram Janmabhoomi. He told me, don't get into Ram Janmabhoomi just now. When the time comes, you will be called. But just now you get in, you will be in trouble. Now, supposing I had got in at 1985, 86, 87, I'm sure I would have been part of the mob in Babri Masjid. And even if I did not do anything to demolish the Babri Masjid, I would have been made an accused without doubt. So afterwards, how I came in and how easily I walked in and got the whole thing listed. And so like that, there were many other things. Chandralekha had acid attack. Her face was totally distorted by hydrochloric acid and nitric acid, excuse me. And PC Reddy told me she can never have a normal face again. And it was in a very bad shape. I asked him, shall I help her to, see whether she can get good treatment? and some restoration. He said, yes, you do it. I said, but how do I do it? I don't know where to go and all. You said, no, where are you going today? I said, I'm going to Bombay. He said, go to Bombay and then talk to me later. So I went to Bombay. There was a friend of mine called Paman Patel. He was giving dinner, and I was seated next to India's most plastic surgeon and world's number among the first three. Um, is he was sitting next to me, and he started talking to me and said, I'd like to learn politics from you. Then I asked him, what you are? He said, I'm a plastic surgeon. Then I told him about Chandrasekhar's case. I said, PC Reddy says there's no hope. Would you like to see her? And he asked, say, you bring her, I will do it free, provided you give me every time she has a session with me, you also come and give me a briefing on Indian politics. So this way, he actually, as you have seen Chandralekha, you can't even tell from a distance that she has had acid attack. So, I mean, like this, I have large number of other cases where he did, and he passed away in 1994. But I can tell you that even today, I can't believe that he's not in the vicinity. And in fact, one Jain Muni told me in Ahmedabad that तुम्हारा देखभाल कौन कर रहा है, एक बुढ़ा डंडा के साथ. The Shankaracharyas have this, what is it, Kamandalam and something else, so he says,
It is
oh,
called Dandam.
huh?
It is called Dandam.
That's right.
दंड कहते हैं इसको.
Dand.
He says, बुढ़ा और डंडा. वो मुझे कहता है कि स्वामी को देखना है, मैं देख रहा हूँ उसके लिए. So that's what he told me. Now he never knew this Jain Muni in Ahmedabad that I never told him, and he never knew that I had anything to do with it. So therefore, I'm saying that in now all this Hindutva, everything, I owe it to him. And such saints have been the reason why India has survived. Any other civilization, has it survived? Have the Zoroastrians survived in Iran? Have the Mesopotamians and the Babylonians, have they survived? Have the pharaohs survived in Egypt, or the Greeks, or the Romans? The UNESCO itself says out of 45 civilizations the world has seen, only one has survived, and that is the Hindu civilization. I think this is because of these sadhus and sannyasis. Sorry for taking up so much time.
डॉक्टर स्वामी, आपने परमाचार्य के बारे में बताया. मुझे याद है जब आप चंद्रशेखर सरकार में मंत्री थे, तो मैं और जगदीश जी आपके साथ परमाचार्य से मिलने गए थे और उनका आशीर्वाद मैंने लिया था. आदि शंकरा की जयंती आज है. उन्होंने कांची के अन्य मठ स्थापित थे, द्वारका, श्रृंगेरी, बद्रिकाश्रम और पुरी. आपकी अनेक शंकराचार्यों से मुलाकात रही है. कांची के बारे में, परमाचार्य के बारे में आपने बताया. कृपया हमारे दर्शकों को संक्षेप में और दूसरे शंकराचार्यों के बारे में भी कुछ बताइए.
देखिए, मेरा जो उसी प्रकार की रिश्ते हैं श्रृंगेरी शंकराचार्य के साथ, और वो भी मेरा आशीर्वाद देते रहते हैं और मेरा देखभाल करते रहते हैं. और दूसरा है पूरी शंकराचार्य. पूरी शंकराचार्य तो खुलेआम मेरे प्रशंसा करते हैं. राम सेतु के बारे, ये अनेक के और मैं मिलता हूं तो पूरा आशीर्वाद देते हैं. वो भी ज्ञानी है. और जो द्वारका के हैं, वो शंकराचार्य थोड़ा हम लोग हिंदुत्ववादी शक्तियों से खिन्न है. वो बीजेपी विश्व हिंदू परिषद से उनका दूरी है. लेकिन राजीव गांधी के काल में उनकी और मेरी निकटता आई, और आज भी वो मेरे साथ. डिस्प्यूट तो एक ही है कि शंकराचार्य ने 4 मठ बनाए, ज्योतिर्मठ, द्वारका, पुरी और श्रृंगेरी. तो ये चारों शंकराचार्य के, अभी ज्योतिर्मठ और द्वारका तो एक ही है. अभी एक अस्थाई पोजीशन है, परंतु वो कहते हैं कि ये जो कांची का है वो वास्तव में शंकराचार्य का मठ नहीं है, सिर्फ 4 बनाए थे उन्होंने। और मेरा कहना है कि लेकिन सारा पदयात्रा करने के बाद आदि शंकरा कांचीपुरम में आकर रहकर उनकी अंतिम वही हुई थी। तो वो उसीलिए सुपर स्पेशल एक है, उसको मठ मानने में कोई अपराध नहीं है उसमें। और जो वहाँ के शंकराचार्य उनको तो मानते, ऐसे तो सब परमाचार्य को मानते थे कि ये तो देवता है, लेकिन इस मठ को जो स्थान देनी चाहिए, ये बाकी 4 लोग यानी 4 मठ जो हैं वो तैयार नहीं, लेकिन दूरी तो बहुत कम है। और मैं तो समझता हूँ कि ये जो बात है इसमें मैं नाम नहीं लूंगा, बट इन तीनों शंकराचार्यों ने मुझे जरूर, 3 में 2 ने जरूर कहा है कि मैं इस पर कुछ करना चाहिए, परंतु मैं अभी तक उस स्थिति में नहीं आया हूँ जो इस सवाल को मैं उठा सकता हूँ। पहले जो भी घटनाएं हुई हैं शंकराचार्य कांची के, इनकी गिरफ्तारी, फिर कई लोगों ने इस आश्रम को हड़प करने के लिए भी प्रयास किया था, तो नकली शंकराचार्य को बिठाने के लिए भी प्रयास किया था। ये सारी जो कुकर्म ये सब, और तमिलनाडु के जो वातावरण है उसमें अभी मैं कोई ऐसा कदम नहीं उठा सकूंगा, परंतु ये जो लक्ष्य है वो तो पूरा है, और जैसे मौका मिलेगा मैं जरूर इस पर प्रयास करूंगा।
Yes, Jagdish, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
Over to you, Jagdish.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Swamy, for this very interesting interaction. You told us about Paramacharya on this auspicious occasion of Shankara Jayanti. It is really going to tell our viewers how much you are guided by the Paramacharya. I just one of our viewers has just shared an incident, and which you also mentioned indirectly, that Paramacharya was opposed to the emergency and the throttling of democracy.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
just
right.
share with you a viewer from Vellore has shared this incident. He tells me that his name is Jai Prakash, and during the emergency, he and his parents took him to Kanchi Mutt, and he was lost in the
Crowd.
program activities there. And then Paramacharya was sitting on the stage, and announcement was made: a child by the name of Jai Prakash is missing. You know what Paramacharya reacted? Yes, Indira Gandhi is afraid of Jai Prakash, and he jokingly said that without any fear in the emergency, yes, Indira Gandhi is frightened of this Jai Prakash name, and everybody looked around and laughed. So this was the greatness of Paramacharya. He was not afraid of the king or anybody who was a ruler. Yeah, sorry.
No, I will add to this. Indira Gandhi came to him and she sat for 90 minutes. He refused to even look at her. And that's why I told you when she said finally, give me a blessing. So he said, he just kept quiet. And then she said, bless the country. He blessed the country. Later on, Paramacharya told me he was on a yatra to Satara. So he stopped somewhere on the border between Karnataka and Maharashtra. And I went there to see him. And he took me aside and took me a distance, and we were alone. And he knew what was on my mind. He said, I blessed Indira Gandhi when she came to see me in Hubli. And the reason I did is that you people have broken up your party and there was no stability. India needs stability. So therefore, I blessed her. Mind why I blessed her and brought her back when I had opposed her in the emergency. I said, I have no authority or no stature to ask you any questions like that. But yes, there is a question in my mind why Indira Gandhi should get so much leniency. So he says, it is only this. Then I said, she will declare an emergency, put us all in jail. He said, no, she has given me her word that she will never, never in her life again ever even think of the word emergency, much less imposing it. So you don't worry on that. And so even you can work with her, he said. So that's how it happened. And he was very unforgiving for that emergency. And I'm also can tell you, and if anybody challenges me, I will produce photographic evidence. He thought very, very poorly of Miss Sonia Gandhi, and he really liked Rajiv Gandhi, and he made all kinds of attempt to see we don't hold an election in 1991 because he said his life is in very grave danger. He wanted him to go to Guruvayur temple and do some puja. Rajiv Gandhi became ready, but the then chief minister there, he intercepted Rajiv Gandhi at Cochin airport and said the Christian vote will disappear if you go and do this puja in Guruvayur temple. And so he did not go. So whatever it is, whether it's pre or stay or not, but he tried very hard. So I think Paramacharya had very clear views on what is good for India, and he said it. And he has told me that what is good for India is developing relations with Israel and China, and I've done that until I come somewhere a message from him. No, now that's enough. Now you do something else. I will continue to do that.
Thank you, Dr.
डॉक्टर स्वामी, हमारे हैदराबाद से गोविंद हरि जी पूछ रहे हैं कि आपने परमाचार्य के बड़े भाई शिवन जी से भी मुलाकात की है?
क्या दोबारा कहिए?
परमाचार्य जी के बड़े भ्राता शिवन जी से कभी आपकी मुलाकात हुई है?
नहीं, उसमें कोई मैं भाई के नाम पर किसी को नहीं मानूंगा. साधु जो होता है उसकी कोई परिवार नहीं होता, तो इसीलिए कोई भाई कहकर आएगा तो मैं बिल्कुल नहीं मिलूंगा. क्योंकि वो तो प्रतिज्ञा लेते हैं कि मेरा पूर्वज, मेरा पुराना नाम, ये सब, ये जो बचपन का नाम कुछ है नहीं. इट इज का सन्यासी का बिल्कुल एक नया जीवन होती है.
Thank you, Dr. Swamy.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Swamy. So with this, we come to the end of another interesting episode on Gyan Ganga Words of Wisdom. I wish to remind our viewers that tomorrow, Wednesday, the 29th of April, we'll be having another special episode of Dr. Subramaniam Swamy and Sri Rajiv Malhotra. Tomorrow, they will be talking about the economy post-coronavirus, India's scenario and the world scenario, and that will be an interesting session. Do join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. on all our social media channels as usual. So with this, we come to the end of the to remind our viewers that all the 4 people you are watching today are blessed, and we had the privilege of having the blessings of Paramacharya when he was on this earth. And we are very privileged because many people can't believe that we have interacted because of Dr. Swamy and others with Paramacharya. So with his fond memories, we finish on, or we complete today's program and look forward for another interesting episode tomorrow.
One small tidbit, 30-second tidbit. The way I came in contact with Swamy was because of Periva Kanchi.
Yes, that's right. I remember.
2005.
In fact, yes. I'm extending the program, but I wish to also tell our viewers, the present Shringeri Shankaracharyas senior once was on a yatra in Maharashtra. That was in the early 1980s. And he was in a place at Ghatkopar, and Dr. Swamy was an MP from that place. And he was having a long conversation with Dr. in a room.
Not the present, but his predecessor.
Earlier, senior. So I went and knocked at the door and said, Dr. Swamy, you're getting late for the next program, because it was already 20 minutes. So he told me, don't disturb. You know who am I speaking to? We are brothers from previous birth.
That's right.
Shankaracharya senior tells me
Wow.
of Dr. Swamy that we birth in Ghatkopar in the early 80s. He mentioned this to us. So we are
Yes.
blessed because Dr. Swamy has been blessed by our spiritual gurus. So with this, we come to the end of the program. It has gone on for a long time, but it was a very interesting session. Jai Hind. Thank you and Dhanyavad. Thanks to Arvind Chaturvedi and also to Ramesh Swamy and our usual team of Ashish Shetty, Tejas, Rakesh, and Ishwar Iyer for their support for this eventful episode.
Yeah. Okay.